After the duel, I killed her, yes, and now the sun is bright, no sign of yesterday's crime, scarcely any beach, and that meter deep in slick weed whose surface is a carpet of flies that rises with each sloppy step. So this is what tomorrow is like. We arrived in enough daylight to unpack the scotch and mark a path between the bed and the table to the hot tub on the deck. Then we set aside our watches, and I split kindling and lit the fire while she cut up potatoes and boiled water. A short November day and heavy. Sun a wide laser on the waves, the water fat, brimming, the bay's arms angled not quite right, nothing to hold properly what I committed in passion's name, everything bulging with what's hid. A drink in the hot tub, another by the fire. Every time we reached the point of saying what we wanted, we took hits from the bottle or slipped under the rain and steam. We were choosing weapons. I honed sex. She polished the difference between life and death. Down at the boathouse at Point No Point, the last wind faint in the sunny cove. Sunny. Blasted by sun, the surf white and the beach knee-deep in foam from the night that roared, so two sets of inland tourists checked out before dawn, terrified of the storm. The place of the duel is always desolate. Food, whiskey, talk, all done. The dance is an old one, steps well rehearsed, though the first cut's a surprise. I play dead while she wails and beats the air with her fists. I'm a carapace, empty and upturned, and her fury makes her careless. Along the road in pitch-black night I listen to the trees hiss. The cabin's too small when I return, so full of smoke that it's not clear at first that we're finished. All night the walls shook and the surf boomed. Love, I'm losing it. A glossy crow picks through the rack, unfolds in sunshine. Soon will be solstice and I'll break. She joins me at the boathouse and we choose stones for a game of boule. She knocks me out of the circle every time. No one answers. No one hears. Angels. They come in off the mud, their torn wings half hidden by mackinaws, and plunge into the forest as if into an element heavier than the salt chuck that crashes behind them. They wade close to where we hide. Why is it so hard to speak of what we love? This is the storm we've been telling stories about. These angels know the island we've chosen, lonely yet sheltered by other islands, no beach open to open sea. That's why they arrange boats to carry us beyond the biology that will break anything. Their mouths wide in the squall. How let them know we can't hear ourselves? Nothing to be done. Waiting is full of loss, but what else is waiting for? When the moment comes, the wind twangs like laundry long ago, something of childhood that snaps but doesn't hurt. We won't look at each other. Gently they unlace our fingers and separate us, and in a blink we're far apart, a long way from home, in separate boats, already sailing. I look for the light to port, but she's already turned away, small, smaller. Another Sistine chapel. On the phone to a lost wife, I try this. How far away do you have to go for me to want you? She says, you don't understand the limits of the body. If I want you, I say, you are perfect. If you aren't, I want candles, soap, and salt. Listen to her thinking. Desire creates perfection, she says. We hang up and still I don't know I'm sad. I walk the dog. I want something because it's perfect. The wanting produces perfection. The gestures of desire are claiming in relation to, possessing outside the body, consuming inside the body. And when the geese stop crossing overhead and horizons stay put and my dog has grown patient with age, I will remember this road. She painted the ceiling, had the dream. I know this. Now what is my dream? My dog is looking at me. I've come to a standstill. One leaf falls, and I'm rocked back to every leaf twirling squall along every tree-lined street long ago. Next, please. Dying, I remember this, and how much I loved her. Keeping watch. When the sun hauls down, a friend shows me the entrails of a dog. What does this mean? He wants to know. I'm thinking of the girl in the teal dress and no underwear that I see in the city, and of the blue-tick hound, Emmett, that I returned to the pound because he howled and shit in the house and otherwise ran wild. An uncertain future, I tell my friend, is where we're headed, no doubt. There's a shooting star to prove it. There's another for good measure. I wake with a sob at midnight, no stars, no good plan, alone. Who can figure the entrails of a dog into something useful? I kissed Lorraine by a clipped forest, stumps weathered silver, while men fished from a pier and traffic roared, and my stomach rose against my heart, the same way Emmett rose against everything that wanted to keep him still. I want to be wise enough to die rehearsed, but not before I make peace with those I've wronged. Let them come, singly, and test the strength of my resolve. I won't sleep. The bole of the tree is too rough. Lorraine's brown eyes keep watch. Oh, she's someone to tell how brave I am. Her skin so soft. But I do sleep well. I wake with dew on my hair, the field silent. In the mist, 2 children hold hands while an untethered horse grazes and the sky changes. Pale thighs under a green dress. On the horizon, my father has begun to plow. My beautiful mother. An overgrown track through dense green sunshine. The Sisters and the Goat. Once upon a time, 2 sisters waited in an ice cave for day to empty around them. While Blue Eyes stood still as a statue, Green Eyes undressed her, touched each nipple, kneecap and hip. Then Blue Eyes pretended to faint, and from the back of the cave, out of the last darkness, trotted a goat, a bone clenched between its teeth. Green Eyes looked into Blue. The agreement was no talking. What happened next furnished the sisters with a secret they'd share with no one. Then Blue Eyes closed, Green Eyes widened. The goat ran from the cave, and all bone of a child, child of a mother, mother of a child, sister of a sister, lived happily ever after, happily ever after. Undersea Gardens. That winter I wore a wetsuit 6 hours a day and swam with the seals. Once an hour I plugged the shower nozzle to each wrist and filled my skin with hot water. I swam with ratfish and sharks. A girl's voice narrated from the submarine speaker as I tickled an octopus from the rocks. They have the intelligence of a 3-year-old child. Slotted eyes measured me. Look, fear. Once an hour they jetted across the tank till they weakened and died. Floodlights, useless in the ink, and harbor water icy down my spine. All autumn I grew in skill and grace, herding the old sturgeon from the shadows of the back tank into the limelight. Sea cucumber, anemone, sea feather. Between shows I finned backstage to clean the glass, watching the tourists on the other side watching me, then swam into the dark passage between tanks with a hard-on. There in the dark I backflipped, hung upside down, busted up shoals of sunfish, jackknifed and sank to the sand, where rock crab performed plies.